That was the. Okay. I'm missing something here.
Never know where am I supposed to be?
I know.
What?
Hi.
Morning.
Good morning. No, no.
Yeah.
No, he and I talked right afterward and I was like, there's so many ideas.
Everybody.
Good, good, good. Step back so we're not blocking.
Microtransit. Oh.
Whoa.
I'm going here, so.
Yes, everyone.
Wrap my head around the intro.
Okay.
Busy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Services.
Oh, wow.
That's my role.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing awesome.
You were.
Over.
Oh, I'm too far now, right? Yeah. Okay. I stepped over the line in a big way. Oh,
Yes. Tammy. Hayden. So when I operated the door.
I put 3 on.
I know.
I can't focus on it.
Gotcha. Also, I've got it.
I'm begging.
You were in the first.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's transition back to 51%. Spare. And then. It went over 40. Valley Metro. Yeah. Well, it's 3,000. Check 1, 2. Price difference.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Tonight. These, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's not too bad. Here's some.
So.
One of our tributes.
Characters. Extreme. Some dog stuff. It's a break.
I don't know.
Alex. I did it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's. So.
That's like that. And the ourselves.
Yeah.
Sounds
Good morning.
Good morning, Councilmember White. We are waiting for other board members to join, and then we will, as soon as we have a quorum, we will get started.
Thank you.
What? Or?
You don't want it, do you?
Yeah.
Chair, we do not currently have a quorum. We will have to wait a couple more minutes.
Oh, and I'm online.
Now they're all popping on.
The gavel is powerful. They heard you from across the valley, I think.
Okay, if you'd like to call the meeting to order now, we have a quorum.
Well, now we'll call the roll.
Good.
Any member would like to ask?
I have to call the roll first.
Okay, all right.
City of Avondale, Councilmember Max White.
Present.
City of Buckeye, Councilmember Jermaine Berry.
Present.
City of Chandler, Councilmember O.D. Harris. City of El Mirage, Councilmember Monica Dorsey. Town of Fountain Hills, Councilmember Peggy McMahon. Town of Gilbert, Councilmember Kenny Buckland.
He must be on this one.
City of Glendale, Vice Mayor Lauren Tomlichoff. Here. City of Goodyear, Vice Mayor Wally Campbell. Maricopa County Supervisor Steve Gallardo.
Present.
City of Mesa, Councilmember Francisco Heredia. City of Peoria, Councilmember John Edwards.
Present.
City of Phoenix, Councilmember Laura Pastor.
Present.
Town of Queen Creek, Councilmember Brian McClure.
Here.
City of Scottsdale, Councilmember Mary Ann McAllen. City of Surprise, Councilmember Earl Greenberg.
Here.
City of Tempe, Councilmember Jennifer Adams.
Here.
City of Tolleson, Vice Mayor Jimmy Davis. Town of Wickenburg, Mayor B.G. Bratchert.
Present.
And Town of Youngtown, Mayor Michael Lavault. Chair, we do have 10 participants and we can proceed.
Okay, thank you. If a committee member would like to ask a question or make a comment during the meeting, please type your comment in the box and it will be read aloud and answered. All meeting attendees, please mute your computer, microphone, or phone. Number one on our agenda is public comments. The public will be provided an opportunity at this time to address the committees on non-agenda items and all action items for the joint RPTA or NVMR meeting agendas. Up to 3 minutes will be provided per speaker unless the chair allows more at their discretion. A total of 15 minutes for all speakers will be provided. Do we have any speakers today?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Kevin James.
Come on up. Hello, Mr. James.
Hello, thank you for the opportunities to speak today. The first thing I'd like to do is to relay that the first time we came here, I had a group of about 5 people with me, and they had had some problems, and then they'd yelled at somebody in the governor's office, the 2 US senators' office, and I suggested we come here and address this body. The responses from them range from open hostility to, oh, that's so cute, the Seattle liberal thinks it can make a difference. They're all singing a different tune today, and in fact, one of them is on an advisory body in Peoria. So your actions made a positive difference, and there's 5, 6 people that don't think government sucks anymore. So thank you for that. The other thing I'd like to address is the fare reduction for disabled people on express buses. It's my understanding, well, the first time I rode a Valley Metro bus, I was there for the first time with the gentleman that was there also for the first time. He was dressed up right out of GQ except for the wheelchair. And he showed him his pass, and he was unable to get the reduced fare because it was an express bus. And something then just kind of felt like this isn't quite right. And at the last meeting, when you were discussing your fare structure and revisions, I had that same feeling, something just not right. And I'm all for the veterans reduced fare, that's great. But there are a lot more veterans that make more money after their service than there are people who make more money after their disability. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. James. Are there any other speakers that want to come forward right now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Pat. Now we'll go to Chief Executive Officer's report. Jessica.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I do have a number of items that we would like to provide you with an update on today. A key theme for this morning is going to be opportunities where Valley Metro is out engaging with the community, in some cases engaging alongside our board members. First, a note on our service performance. We are fortunate that our ridership continues to grow. We are continuing to experience double-digit ridership growth across all modes. This has been boosted by the opening of the South Central Extension. We're now 5 months into operation of that corridor, but we're seeing ridership across the entire system. At last, our express and rapid routes across the valley are growing significantly. The lion's share of the ridership growth is actually driven by our primary arterial routes across the bus system, and this includes in all markets. That's West Valley, Central Phoenix, and East Valley. So year over year relative to 2024, we have seen a 20% increase in ridership. We're very excited about that. Speaking of the bus network, we are now 1 month into public engagement on the bus network redesign, which we call Your Voice, Your Ride. We have been working to visit with members of the public in their community at pop-up events, at scheduled public meetings. We also have a very significant online presence with information on the website plus virtual events. We still have about 20 events remaining. And to date, we've received now nearly 3,000 different comments from the community. We are collecting input through November 30th. In this first wave of engagement, we are introducing the concept of a bus network redesign to the public. And we're having conversations with them about what is working, what isn't working for them on our current bus network. We'll take that along with the analysis we've been doing behind the scenes and use that to craft draft strategies for enhancing service and making modifications to the bus network so that we can do a better job of getting people to the places they need to go when they need to get there in a time that is competitive. The engagement on this process is iterative. We'll come up with plans, we'll share them with the public, we'll get their input, and then we'll go back to the drawing board and modify, ultimately culminating in a bus network redesign plan later in 2026. Our Commute Solutions team is also out working to educate and familiarize the public with using our services. We have many different audiences that we engage with on how to navigate the bus and the train, including students. We have a school outreach program. We also have a refugee training program where we are welcoming people who are new to our country and who are some of our most vulnerable neighbors and orienting them with how to actually navigate the Valley Metro transit system. So kudos to the team for conducting these events. Earlier this month, we celebrated the 38th, hard to believe, 38th now annual Clean Air Campaign Awards. This really celebrates the commute solutions portion of the Valley Metro operation, where we are our region's van pool administrator, we are our carpool administrator, and our rideshare program. We celebrate those clean air champions, including coordinators who work at employer job sites throughout the region, commuters who are biking, walking, and carpooling to work. Thank you to Chair Adams for providing remarks on that day about the future of Valley Metro. Also, thank you to Mayor Bratcher, Vice Mayor Tolmachoff, and council members Pastor, Harris, McAllen, and Barry for joining us on that day. It was a lovely event. Last Friday, the American Council on Engineering Companies came together for the Southwest region here in Arizona. And at this event, they recognized a number of different infrastructure projects across Arizona. We are so fortunate that the South Central Extension, though it's still brand new, 5 months in, was recognized with the Grand Award, the Judge's Choice Award, and my favorite, the People's Choice Award, where participants vote on their favorite project in Arizona over the course of the year. The Northwest Extension Phase 2 also won an award for collaboration and partnerships. That references the collaborative delivery process between Valley Metro, City of Phoenix, and Kiewit-McCarthy joint venture that allowed us to deliver Northwest Phase 2 ahead of schedule and under budget. Congratulations, job well done to the teams who helped deliver that project, including Valley Metro and our contract partners. I hope this week you have seen positive news in the media regarding our security communication campaign. Several months ago, we came to this board with an update on some of the great advances that we're having in security and the results that we're seeing. We did conduct a pulse survey. This was a repeat of a survey that we did in late 2022, early 2023, asking our customers how they feel about security across the system. We also asked them specific questions on presence and what kind of behaviors they see that they don't want to experience, what kind of presence and assistance are they not receiving that they do want to see. And we are so encouraged that more than 80% of respondents indicate that they feel very safe on the system. And the overwhelming majority, 82% of Valley Metro customers are very likely to recommend our service to others. And that, we call it a Net Promoter Score across any industry or business. Having a Net Promoter Score above 80% is just fantastic. So we have taken to sharing our story now outside of Valley Metro. We issued a news release last week. We have done a number of media engagements and interviews over the course of the week. You received an email last week from Hillary Foos, our Chief of Marketing and Communications, with content that you might wish to share. And thank you to some of our member cities, including Phoenix, who is promoting this using their channels. We encourage you to do the same. It's good news. We don't often get to share statistics like having a more than 50% reduction in incidents across the system, a 40% increase in security presence on light rail. And I'm delighted at that 82% Net Promoter Score, and I look forward to seeing that continue to grow into the future. Well done to Adrienne Rees, our Chief of Safety and Security, her team, but also to our police partners from each of our member communities who are working with us. We have a limited force. We've got a tiny but mighty security team. We have customer experience coordinators and intercon security guards who work across light rail and streetcar. But beyond those boundaries, we're really relying on the support and engagement of our law enforcement partners. And with programs like Operation Blue Ride, we've seen tremendous progress. So thank you, Adrienne. Continuing on the theme of engaging with our partners, yesterday we had the pleasure together with Downtown Phoenix Incorporated and Red Development, the City of Phoenix, and several social service providers, we officially cut the ribbon on the Downtown Community Resource Hub. This is a place where we have social services teams, City of Phoenix Police, Valley Metro Security, customer experience coordinators, and Valley Metro customer service agents actually stationed at this location to provide information and support to our customers. This is also a point, or a rallying point, if you will, where these teams who work together across the system from different entities can come together and collaborate. The effect has been palpable. The downtown guides, the customer experience coordinators, and those intercon security guards are present and visible everywhere throughout downtown Phoenix and across the system, and they're contributing to creating this safe and secure environment. Also, in the vein of engaging the community, just yesterday, we kicked off the next phase of engagement on the Capital Extension Light Rail project. We are continuing stakeholder meetings, public meetings. We've got another public meeting tonight, one again on Saturday. We also always conduct virtual meetings. We're continuing one-to-one and small group meetings with key stakeholders in the corridor as well. We anticipate continuing this phase of engagement through late January of 2026. That concludes my report. I do want to remind the board that we will not have a formal board meeting in December. We would come back together on January 22nd. As always, please do reach out to staff or me if we can assist in any way during that time. That concludes my report, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, this is Odie. Is it great presentation, Jessica? Just wanted to ask, is it possible that with some of the ribbon cuttings that is happening, that board members can be minimally invited to or be made aware of? If they're already doing it, thank you for continually to do that. But also, if they're not sending it out to all the board members, can we make sure that they're minimally getting that request in, so we'll know what's going on, and we'll know when you're out there, when we're out there to help promote, because I just kind of want to see a little bit more of that level of engagement to all the board members. Hey, we're doing this ribbon cutting. Any of the board members that does come, hey, feel free to come. And then if they're acknowledged there, that's great, because they're all elected officials. It also furthers our work that we're doing at Valley Metro and the work that you're carrying for us, Jessica. But just kind of wanted to put that out there and see if we can continue to work on putting out information like that, so the board members can be a little bit more involved as well.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Councilmember Harris, for that suggestion. Great suggestion. We will ensure that all Valley Metro or PTA board members are aware of all of the community events, especially those ribbon cuttings and celebratory moments. Thank you.
Yeah, because I think they will probably want to come to some of that, especially if they're in that area. They probably would want to come if they were invited to come or are made aware that that's going to be happening. So just putting it out there. But thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Harris. Are there any other people that want to comment out there? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 3, Audit and Finance Subcommittee update. The Vice Chair White, could you please provide an update on the board on items discussed at the October AFS meeting?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. I am giving this report from my vehicle. I am pulled over, but the Audit and Finance Subcommittee met on Thursday, November 6th at noon. We received an update from our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Kessler. The Public Transportation Fund Revenue Report was presented to us through October, and this year we are just about 4%. We're just under about 4% over the prior year, and a little less than 3% under budget for the year through October. So continue to monitor these revenues, and then as the new tax goes into place later in the fiscal year, we'll monitor that against the projections in our budget as we go forward. We approved our minutes from the October 2nd meeting, And then we also had an FY26 first quarter budget review. Mr. Tyler Olson, our budget and operations financial controls manager, he presented that for our PTA, the total operating expenses, 22% spend on the operating budget. All areas of operating budget are well within the 25% target. For Valley Metro Rail, 17% of the operating sources have been collected to date. Operating expenses are within plan at 23%. Overall, the capital and operating are within plan. Item number 5, we received the vehicle disposal process audit report from Larry Condrat, our internal audit manager. The audit was presented for approval. It was determined that Valley Metro has effective controls in place to ensure that policies and procedures are effective and comprehensive. Disposal decisions are timely and based on comprehensive support and methodology, and the disposal records are complete and accurate. There were no findings or recommendations associated with this audit. We did conduct an executive sessions, and that was tied to a review of our audit. At that moment, we did approve that audit in the public meeting. We voted to accept that additional audit. We had an internal audit update from Mr. Condrat, our audit manager. 3 audits have been completed, 3 audits are in progress, and there are 13 audit recommendations in progress as well. I encourage everyone to take a look at the Audit and Finance Subcommittee packet. The intergovernmental agreements, contract change order, amendments, and awards were in detail in that packet. And that way, if there are any questions, you can forward those to Valley Metro through your staff and have any connections or questions answered that way. Our next Audit and Finance Subcommittee meeting is scheduled for Thursday, January 8th at 12 p.m. And we wish everyone a happy holiday season. That will conclude my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Max. Do we have any comments regarding Councilmember White's report? Going once, going twice? Okay. Next item, the consent agenda. The consent agenda is presented for action. Does the committee have any questions, or are there any items that need to be pulled for separate discussion? I request a motion and a second to approve consent agenda items 3A through 3F.
So moved. Motion. Second then.
Okay, and do we have any discussion?
Chair, can I verify who made the motion in the second? please?
Sure.
Councilmember White moved. Councilmember Harris second.
Thank you both so much.
Okay, is there any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, motion carries. Number 5, wayfinding map design services contract award. Jessica, would you like to introduce this item?
I would. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. The contract before you is for an award for wayfinding map services. I do want to distinguish that these are our wayfinding maps, things like our system maps that demonstrate the location of routes throughout the entire system. So it's a different product than what we would produce using geographic information systems or analysis. It actually uses those GIS maps and creates a graphic product that is easily translatable to the public. So this is an award to continue producing this contract, and the award is being suggested by ConnectPoint Incorporated with a 5-year term. Are there any questions on this item?
Do we have any questions from the committee? Seeing none, I request a motion and a second to approve the recommendation as presented on the screen.
I move approval of the wayfinding map design services contract award.
Second.
Did you
What
get
is
that?
happening?
Okay. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I request a motion, and well, we already have that. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 6, Operations Cleaning Services Contract Amendment. Jessica will now introduce item 6.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the board, I'll cover this item. The item before you requests an extension of our current operations and cleaning services contract award for a period of 6 months. The current contract expires December 31st, 2005. We're requesting extending that 6 months to June 30th, 2026 to allow an ongoing procurement to take place that would replace this contract. This item provides cleaning services to our operating facilities as well as our rail, our light rail and streetcar vehicles. May I answer any questions on this item?
I don't see anyone with their hands up. So I request a motion and a second to approve the recommendation as presented on the screen.
I'll move approval of the Operations Cleaning Services Contract Amendment.
Second.
Go, Wally, that was your second, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, Landscape Services Contract Amendment. Jessica will now introduce item 7.
I'm going to take this item again, and then hopefully I'll be done for a little while. The item before you this morning, Madam Chair and members of the board, is an award of a new landscape services and paver maintenance contract. This is going before the joint board. While a lot of the work does occur on the rail system, it also includes our bus operations and maintenance facilities. This is a competitive contract for a 3-year base contract with 2 option years for a not to exceed amount of $3,062. The firm selected from that competitive process, which did include member city staff on the procurement, as most of our procurements do, resulted in selection of, again, the existing vendor, which is Mariposa Landscape Arizona Incorporated. May I answer any questions on this contract?
Seeing none, I request a motion and a second to approve the recommendation as presented on the screen.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
My apologies. I'm trying to track everyone's screen bouncing around. Who supplied the second, please?
I did, and somebody else.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Okay, so all in favor, aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, and Jessica, you thought you were done. Jessica will introduce item 8. Do we, go ahead on the auto?
Sure.
And
We
your
come
insurance.
before the joint board each year in November, typically for our annual insurance renewal. You have received new information in your packet, I think now 2 days old. We get new quotes as our insurance expires. And so Michael Waro, our chief legal officer, who has been working with our broker diligently to try and find the optimal rates for us, will provide an update.
Thank you. Chair, board members, really 2 factors that we look at for insurance this year. The market for transit liability continues to rise each year. That's no surprise to anyone here. And also our growth drives what our insurance rates are, and that's the main driver this year. In the last year, Valley Metro's exposures, that's insurance talk for our growth, we grew over 25% in terms of people, programs, and property for the agency. To give you a little context, over the past 6 years, we have an average of a yearly average of 23% increase in insurance year over year. Last year, we had a 7% increase year over year for our insurance. This year, in the most recent information that we were able to provide the board just the other day, we have a 3% increase year over year for insurance premiums. The only significant change that we are recommending in terms of our coverage is that we take the self-insured retention that we have for our excess liability line. And so in common terms, that's our deductible, the amount that we have to pay before insurance kicks in. We are recommending that as part of the package, that line moves up from a $750,000 deductible up to a $1 million deductible. It still puts us quite lower than the rest of the industry, but it gives us that pricing that we're looking for in the premiums for this year and why we're able to hold steady there. We do still have, I mean, from what you see, why we give you the updates up until the last minute is we have a volatile market out there for insurance. Our broker will still continue to negotiate with the insurance providers up until the end of the month when our policies expire and start again on December 1st. And if we get better rates, we'll go ahead and lock those in as well. That's why we have the amounts presented to the board today is not to exceed amounts. Over the next year, I think one of the things that we need to do as an agency is to start to future-proof where we're going with some of our insurance rates. And so with our members' help, I'd like to hold meetings throughout the year where we can talk about whether we go into options like co-ops, captive insurance, changing our SIRs so that we're better positioned to be able to hold steady and give you the best value on what is a really turbulent market right now. And so with that, I'm happy to take any questions and we'll have a recommendation up here on the screen.
Do we have any questions for Michael? I request a motion and a second to approve the recommendations as presented on the screen.
I'll move approval of the annual insurance coverage renewal.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, travel and expenditures.
Oh, you forgot number, strategic plan.
Oh, I forgot.
9. There you go. Oh, it's your thing's wrong.
I think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're.
The strategic plan for July through September of 2025 is in your packet for your review and is presented for information only.
Okay, so it's not right on this.
Presentation.
No presentation. Madam Chair, members of the board, I would be happy to answer any questions or provide additional information on any of the strategic plan updates for the first quarter, July 1 through September 30.
Okay, do we have any questions out there for Jessica? Seeing none, we'll move on to number 9. Travel and expenditures. Do we have any questions from the committee about travel and expenditures? This item is presented for information only. Seeing none, we'll move on. Report on current events and suggested future agenda items. Do members of this committee have any current events or suggested future agenda items for consideration? Seeing none, we'll go to number 11. The next meeting of the joint board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 at 11:15 a.m. Meeting is adjourned.
I have a question about item 1D on the agenda. I just don't know if I have to pull it to have the question answered.
Yeah, you should probably pull it.
Councilmember White, we need to call the RPTA meeting to order first, and then we can get into the agenda.
Thank you.
Okay. The public will be provided an opportunity at this time to address the committee on non-agenda items and all action agenda items for the joint RPTA and VMR meeting agendas. Up to 3 minutes will be provided per speaker unless the chair allows more at their discretion. A total of 15 minutes for all speakers will be provided. Do we have any questions?
Agenda, and so we'll go into the consent agenda first. There's no public comment.
Okay, thank you. The consent agenda is presented for action. Ask the committee if there are any questions or if there are any items that need to be polled for separate discussion. Are there any items that need to be polled?
Yes, item 1D. Thank you. It's just a question.
Oh, shocking. Okay, go ahead with your question, please.
Yeah, I noticed that this is kind of more paratransit related, but I know that I know Valley Metro is doing a study with On Demand, more specifically the We Ride program, and I would hate to approve our ADA paratransit, knowing that that contract isn't really due to October of 2026 without having the study results of what is being done for on-demand transit at this point. Can the body address that, or can we approve the consent agenda and that be taken as a note?
Jessica, I'm happy to address that from the Glendale perspective if you'd like. So, Councilmember White, so the city of Glendale has decided to, because the Prop 479 is going to fund the paratransit program off the top, the city of Glendale has decided to fund up until July 1st of 2026, when the regional funds will be available for paratransit program. We're bringing back Ride Choice. We ran a pilot program, and now we're rolling it out. We're rolling it out a bit early. And this is going to be, City of Glendale is going to be covering the entire cost of that from now until the region starts picking up for paratransit riders only on Ride Choice. So I think you're talking about two completely separate programs, whether this is the paratransit, which is qualified for regional funds, I believe, under Prop 479. It's not on demand. It's not open to anybody. It's only going to be available for paratransit riders. And that's what Glendale is moving forward with. I think that it's different than what the study is for. You cities, I think Avondale and Goodyear asked to be able to roll out a We Ride program, an on-demand microtransit program for anyone. And that's not what this is.
If I may, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
Councilmember White, I
Yes.
thought I heard 1B as in boy, but based on your remarks, I wonder if it's 1D as in dog?
1D as in dog, because it's tied to paratransit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard the same thing as Vice Mayor Tolmachoff. Thank you for clarifying that. And thank you, Vice Mayor Tolmachoff, for addressing that response, which actually applies to 1B, City of Glendale, and 1C, City of Peoria. They are very similar agreements. I want to invite Tom Young, our Deputy Chief for Bus and Paratransit Operations, to the podium to address your question, Councilmember White. And the short answer of it is yes. Will we explore expanding the footprint or the modes offered in a forthcoming paratransit request for proposals? The answer is yes. I do want to note, I think it's important here that the current paratransit operator, which is MTM, they operate all of the Valley Metro paratransit service. They do so from a depot in Northwest Gilbert as well as an outpost in Peoria. The nature of our contract requires that the exercise of any option years requires mutual agreement between both parties, Valley Metro, RPTA, and MTM. MTM recently informed us in the month of September, actually, that they do not intend to pursue option years on this contract under the existing terms and conditions. So we're doing two things. Number one, continuing to have a dialogue with MTM about the nature of our contract, including items such as the leases on both facilities. We've got a light footprint, I think 20 buses housed at that satellite facility today in the city of Peoria. One of the options that we're exploring to try to reduce that overall contract cost is to shift those vehicles to the West Valley Bus Operations and Maintenance Facility, which Valley Metro RPTA, as of last year, now or earlier this year, and we now hold that lease. And so if we can support those vans at West Valley, that eliminates the need for another lease. We're also having a conversation on the lease of the facility at Gilbert and northwest of Gilbert, where the majority of our paratransit fleet is located. We may or may not be able to come to agreement with MTM on continuing to support paratransit service. So per board policy, if we were to issue a request for proposals, we have to come to this body to request authority to prepare and release a request for proposals. And that's what the item is on this agenda today. I want to ask Tom Young
Oh,
to
Madam,
provide a little bit of context on what that RFP might look like to answer your question.
No, Madam CEO, that was sufficient, actually. Your answer did it all, and in the best interest of time, that is all I needed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Oh, okay, moving on. Any other questions?
If I may,
Yes, please.
since that item was pulled, I would suggest that you hold a vote on the consent agenda for the items except 1D, and then hold a second vote on 1D before you move on with the regular agenda.
Madam Chair, I move we accept the consent agenda minus 1D.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I move we
ahead.
accept item 1D.
okay, I have a motion for 1D. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We're now moving on to the compressed natural gas operations and facilities maintenance control contract. Jessica, would you like to introduce this item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the board, I'd like to invite Greg Thompson, our Deputy Chief of Bus Maintenance, to the podium to provide a presentation on this item.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Jessica. And thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Madam Chair, members of the board. Today, we're asking that the board authorize a 2-year contract extension with Clean Energies to support, maintain, inspect, do repairs at our CNG station that's owned by Valley Metro at our Mesa facility. Clean Energy was awarded the contract in 2021 and has operated that station without issue since that time. They have performed under contract under the contract value as well. Staff did a comprehensive price cost analysis prior to today to ensure that the contract amount is deemed fair and reasonable. And with that, I can answer any questions that you may have. The costs of the term of the contract is outlined in your packet for a total value of $1,611,200. I can answer any questions.
Do we have any questions out there? Board, anybody with their hands up? Okay, it looks like we have no questions. So I request a motion then.
I move to approve agenda item 2 as written.
Okay, do I have,
Second.
okay, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to number 3 now, the fixed route service contract amendment. Jessica, I'll ask you to introduce this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. The East Valley Fixed Route Bus Operations and Maintenance Service Contract Agreement is one of Valley Metro's largest service contracts. This is the result of a request for proposals and a competitive process that we undertook in partnership with all of our East Valley cities, and some of our West Valley and Phoenix cities also participated in the scoping of that contract. That process resulted in the award of a contract to Keolis Transit Services Incorporated that began on January 1, 2024. That began with a 3-year base, and then there is one 4-year option and one 3-year option concluding that. As we approach the end of our 2nd year, we're at the moment where we must choose to enter into a contract option or to re-procure this operations and maintenance contract. We have moved through a thorough evaluation process. I know a number of conversations have occurred with our member communities in the context of our East Valley monthly meeting, as well as one-on-one conversations with cities and members of the board regarding performance of this contract. With the Keolis contract, I want to acknowledge that the beginning of that contract, we had a rocky start. We have been working to make improvements and have successfully improved performance in a number of key areas, including service reliability or on-time performance. And I really credit the now emerging work of our service planning team for working with Keolis to create schedules that are operable, and our customers now enjoy more than a 10% improvement in reliability relative to this time last year. We also were able to resolve significant workforce shortages, and today we are completing well over 99% of scheduled trips each day. We continue to have performance improvement challenges and associated performance improvement plans in a few areas, including operator training, safety, and maintenance. I want to invite Tom Young to the podium to walk you through the contract terms, as well as a high-level snapshot of that performance improvement plan with Keolis. Tom.
Thank you, Jessica. Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm going to try to hit the highlights of this at this point. As Jessica said, it was a 3-year base contract with Keolis, which started January 1st of 2024. We had 2 options. One's a 4-year option and a second 3-year option to extend. As Jessica said, over the last 21 months, Keolis's performance has improved on almost or the majority of all of our KPIs, including the on-time performance, preventable accidents, and maintenance areas. I want to highlight a couple areas where we are working on consistently. One is operator coverage. Primarily how they set their extra board. Absenteeism is still somewhat high at this point, and the key to covering all the work is making sure that we have operators in the yard ready to take over the service when somebody calls off. Safety, as far as preventable accidents, up through July, they were moving in the right area on all trends, improving preventable accidents. The last couple of months, we have a couple mixed results at this point. A lot of it is based off of new hire operators, first-time transit operators. We're working with Keolis right now in reviewing their new hire operator training program to ensure that they're learning how to actually operate the full-size buses at this point. Maintenance, we continue to work on maintenance issues with Keolis. In all areas, they're really starting to improve, especially the miles between service calls at this point. We continue an improvement month over month, and we hit an all-time high over 6,000 miles between failures just this last month. One of the things that we truly analyzed in looking at this, not only just the KPIs, but all overall support of this contract, Keolis management, their corporate support, and we actually weighed out the benefits of extending the contract versus what may occur if we re-procure. Not only the cost incurred in re-procuring the services, but we've made such great strides over the first 22 months of the contract. We want to continue that momentum in working with Keolis and keep the service improvements going. One of the other driving factors, we've been watching procurements that happen throughout the region right now, and most procurements, new procurements on the street are coming in approximately 10 to 15% higher than the current Keolis rates that we're paying at this point. So with the analysis, with the service improvements, we are recommending the board to authorize the Chief Executive Officer to execute the contract amendment. Total aggregate value is $816,469,425, and that amount does include the first 3-year base contract plus the 4-year extension. I can answer any questions at this time.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I don't know what slide it was, said preventable collisions. This one. Does that mean driver at fault? Is that what that means? Or what exactly does that mean?
So preventable collision, we measure it based off of, did the operator do everything within their power to avoid the accident? So it would be more or less the same as at fault, yes.
Okay, and then so are the drivers cited when, law enforcement what happens when?
One of the pieces, and I don't have the exact number, but the majority of preventable collisions right now are occurring in construction zones where it's a mere hitting a construction sign. Anytime there's contact with an object, we call that a collision. So most of these collisions are very minor collisions at
Okay,
this time.
some of those barricades are set up where it's pretty tight, even for a car. So I can understand where that might be a problem. I was just curious what that meant. Thank you.
Are we working with the construction crews about this situation?
Yes, and a lot of the, especially newer construction sites, Keolis has supervisors, and some of our superintendents actually go out and check the sites throughout the day and ask for stuff to be moved if necessary.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions out there from the committee? Seeing none, I'll request it. Oh, do we have another question? Or you are gonna make a motion to approve?
What that was.
I don't know what it was. Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move approval of the East Valley Fixed Route Service Contract Amendment.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Or aye.
Yes, aye.
And I'll say aye also. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Demand number 4, demand response service overview. Jessica, would you like to introduce this item?
Yeah, please. And Tom, stay comfortable. Madam Chair, members of the board, this item is an informational item. It actually came at the request of the board some months ago. And it is really just to provide an overview of the landscape of demand responsive services, really focusing on accessible transportation services. So not our microtransit service and not the route deviation service that we do on the Ajo rural route, but really service for our disabled neighbors. And the idea here is to really begin to create a mental map of the geography of accessible transportation services and the different types of programs and eligibility criteria that are offered across the valley. And the intention is really just to continue to build shared understanding of what accessible transportation services are offering. I think this is especially important as we prepare, along with our member cities and our partners at MAG, to move through a new period of regional funding associated with Proposition 479. So informational only. We welcome questions, and outside of this presentation, which will be fairly high level, we also welcome the opportunity to engage with your member cities to outline where services are being consumed, what ridership looks like by member community. That's probably best done between Valley Metro staff and a member community one-on-one, since it looks so different across our 19 member jurisdictions.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Jessica. Once again, Madam Chair, members of the board, as Jessica said, I'm here to provide a review of accessible transit services for individuals with disabilities that do not have the ability to use the regular bus system. And for some jurisdictions, senior citizens 65 and older. And I'm also going to be covering some of the agencies that provide each of those services. So to start, I want to talk just a couple definitions that I'm going to be using so everybody can reference this as we go through. ADA complementary paratransit is actually the term identifying service required under the Americans with Disabilities Act for individuals with disabilities. With that, it's the disability has to prevent them from having the ability to use the regular bus. So it operates within a complement of the regular bus system, which actually means within the same service area, within 3/4 of a mile and during the same times and days that that bus service operates. Paratransit is also the term referenced when we talk about the regional service that Valley Metro provides. It's also a shared ride service. So individuals using the service can expect that they will have other customers on board going in like directions at the time that they're using the service. The second service is Dial-A-Ride service, which basically is just another name for the ADA paratransit program. And it's a basic term used when referencing the service that's provided by local jurisdictions. Dial-A-Ride, like paratransit, is a shared ride service where other people will be riding the vehicle at the same time. The third service I'm going to talk about is our Ride Choice program. Our Ride Choice program was actually developed as an alternative to the ADA paratransit program that would go above and beyond the requirements of the ADA. So other words, a lot of jurisdictions several years back chose to do the minimum service area of 3/4 mile. Ride Choice was a more cost-effective solution for providing beyond those service areas, especially since we use local community providers such as taxi companies, Uber, Lyft, and other medical transportation companies that have accessible vehicles to provide this service. Ride Choice is 24/7, 7 days a week, and does not require advanced reservations. Somebody could run out of milk this moment and pick up the phone and call and get a ride to the store to get milk. This Ride Choice service is not a shared ride program. It's basically they get an individual taxi type trip when they order the services. There's 3 jurisdictions beyond Valley Metro that provide ADA paratransit within their city, and most of them are under the terms of Dial-A-Ride. The city of Glendale directly operates their paratransit program under Dial-A-Ride for all trips that occur within the city boundaries. And the same thing with the city of Peoria. They provide Dial-A-Ride services within the city boundaries of Peoria. The city of Peoria does have some few destinations to medical areas outside of their city limits in Sun City and in Glendale. And then the final, city of Phoenix also has their own Dial-A-Ride program. It's shared, all 3 of these are shared ride programs that provide service within their city boundaries. Valley Metro's menu of services. So we have actually 13 jurisdictions that we provide both local paratransit and regional services. So we're not restricted to jurisdictional boundaries at this point. We do both city-to-city transportation and regional service. There are 4 cities that we only provide regional service for. So the first 3 I already mentioned, Glendale, Peoria, and Phoenix, they do their own interjurisdictional service. So we only provide the regional service for that. City of Surprise fits into the regional only service where the City of Surprise doesn't have any bus service. So they really don't have any requirements. But as a choice, they have decided that they wanted to provide regional services for individuals that are ADA eligible for medical and employment trips, looking at that priority. Under the Ride Choice program, we currently have 13 jurisdictions participating in Ride Choice. As of December 1st, we will have 15 as the City of Glendale and the City of Peoria are both serving the Ride Choice program. In addition to those services, and this was one of the things when I came into the community that kind of threw me off, we have an additional 61 different agencies that also provide services for people with disabilities. The majority of those agencies are nonprofit agencies, and their primary service is for between residential facilities and work sites, and they pretty much only provide service for their own clients or own customers at this point. Through MAG, there is a human services transportation program that helps coordinate the strategies for all of these services. However, the transportation service itself provided by these 61 different agencies is independent of the services provided by the 4 public agencies. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about each jurisdiction, to where right now all jurisdictions have a little bit of different service area and eligibility type criterias. So right now we have 11 jurisdictions that have adopted the minimum ADA service area of 3/4 of a mile around the bus. Now that adoption for the majority of them is for pickups. Not all of these jurisdictions have also made that restriction on areas that can be dropped off. So we have the city of Phoenix, we have the city of Chandler, and the town of Gilbert that actually provide service beyond the 3/4 mile. So of the 11 jurisdictions that have the 3/4 mile restriction, somebody could be traveling to one of those 3 communities that's outside of the 3/4 mile. When that happens, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the future of Prop 479, if both of those legs of the trip are not within the 3/4 mile, they will not be considered an ADA trip. So just one leg outside the 3/4 mile. As far as the ride choice program, once again, as I stated, we do have 13 and eventually 15 communities. Now, since the ride choice program was developed above and beyond the minimum ADA, certain restrictions don't apply. So each jurisdiction has the ability to say who they want eligible for the ride choice program. We have some jurisdictions that have stuck to ADA eligible only. We have others that said we want individuals 65 and older to be eligible. We even have some that allow veterans and or some low income residents be eligible. Once again, the service area is not limited for ride choice under the current program. It's just kind of trip limits of it has to be under a 50-mile trip and it has to be a Maricopa County as the primary service area. I think the thing that's most important under ride choice is the fact that each jurisdiction can define the level of service that they want their constituents to receive. Looking at the 4 public agencies, City of Glendale, City of Peoria, Phoenix, and Valley Metro service to include paratransit and ride choice. Last year, fiscal year 2025, we provided collectively 1,033,868 trips, which keeps all of us pretty busy. So kind of looking into the future at this point, we're currently working with MAG on the implementation of Prop 479. Once everything's fully identified, we're going to be working closer with all jurisdictions on strategies. The biggest piece of this is what trips are going to be funded. Understanding at this time is only trips that for individuals that are ADA eligible, and only trips that have an origin and destination within the 3/4 mile will be eligible for reimbursement under Prop 479, and that's for the ADA paratransit and ride choice program. Like I said earlier, the Dial a Ride programs, it's just another name for the ADA paratransit. Right now, looking at all trips that were provided, and we're using 2004 data right now. there's approximately 11% of the trips in cost for the paratransit trips that are outside that what's considered the ADA trip. And for ride choice, due to the fact that it was an alternative, about 52% of the trips and 60% of the cost is outside that minimum ADA service criteria. So short term right now, we're working diligently with all the jurisdictions and with MAG in identifying the service that we're projecting that'll be within the ADA and outside of the ADA. So we've been doing that right up to yesterday with even 5-year projections that are going out. These are preliminary numbers. We're making the commitment kind of midterm once we get all of that down to work with each jurisdiction on strategies, especially those jurisdictions that are going to have trips occurring outside of the minimum ADA. And then as we have long-term, if there's any jurisdictions that are choosing to make any changes, we'll be working to assist in any communications and transition for customers that may be impacted by any future change. So at this time, just kind of summary.
Excuse me, Tom, excuse me, there's a question online. Councilmember White would like to know who funds an ADA trip under Prop 479 if the origin or destination is not in a 3/4 mile zone? Is that the city of origin or the city who has selected to increase their zone outside of the mandated zone?
Currently, under all programs, it's the city of origin where the customer lives that does the trips, that pays for the trips.
Councilmember White, does that answer your question?
Councilmember White, are you there?
She may not be in an area where she can come off mute, so.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, just a quick summary at this point. There's 4 public agencies within the valley that are providing ADA paratransit or services to individuals with disabilities or seniors that cannot use the regular bus. Like I said, last year we did over 1 million trips between the 4 of us. Now, the one issue with the 4 different agencies is depending on the travel needs of the customer, they could very well use 2 or 3 of these agencies within any one day of traveling. So an example, I have a customer that's taking a regional trip and I drop them off at an appointment with Valley Metro at this point. They have to go to a second appointment that's within that jurisdiction of destination. They would have to call that jurisdiction, whether it be the city of Phoenix, city of Peoria, or Glendale for that second trip. And then they could rely on Valley Metro to get them back home because once again, it's crossing a jurisdictional boundary. And then the final piece, just in summary at this point, is we're continuing to work on the impacts of the implementation of Prop 479. I can answer any questions.
Do we have any questions out there?
I do have a question. So I think that's what you were trying to get us to understand is that let's just say that a trip originates in the city of Glendale and then they go to another point within 3/4 mile. And then from there, they take another trip and then maybe even a third trip. All the rides though are billed to the city of where the original ride took place.
That is correct,
So
yes.
no matter what the sequence is after that, the originating city is funding that ride. Doesn't matter where else it goes.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to future items. Are there any reports or current events? If there are any items for future meetings, please state it now. Hearing none, next meeting is Thursday, January 22nd, 2025 at 11:15 a.m. Meeting adjourned. We'll take a 5-minute break.
We have to leave you here by yourself now.
I know, I'm on my own. This is scary.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hi, Councilmember Pastor. We're just having a 5-minute quick break and then we'll get started.
Okay, and now I'm just gonna kick off the meeting and then let Councilmember Adams take over. Did that make sense?
Right. Yes, it makes sense. Councilmember Pastor, would you like to kick off the meeting and then hand it over to Councilmember Adams?
Yes, I am in the middle of traveling, and so I am gonna have Councilwoman Adams kick off the meeting and start the meeting and run it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, the consent agenda is presented for action. Ask the committee if there are any questions or if there are any items that need to be pulled for separate discussion. Do we have anything that needs to be pulled? Okay, seeing none, I request a motion and a second to approve consent agenda items, easy for me to say, 1A and 1C. Do I have a
So
motion?
move.
It's
I
one,
move
it's
those agenda items.
Chair or Vice
Second.
Chair Adams, it's items 1A, 1B, and 1C. A through C.
Okay. Got it. So I request a motion and a second to approve consent items 1A through, it says and, but through 1C.
So move.
Okay, do I have a
Second.
second? Okay, we have, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Vendor managed inventory contract award. Jessica, would you like to introduce this item?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the VMR Board. I will present on this item. This item before you is to request authority to enter into a contract with Siemens Mobility Incorporated for vendor managed parts. What this contract is, it is a vendor-managed inventory contract by which we would contract with the original equipment manufacturer, Siemens, who produced our S700 light rail vehicles. This contract would allow us to obtain parts very quickly that would normally have a long lead time. Having a long lead time waiting for parts interrupts our fleet availability. Having an agency or Valley Metro managed inventory requires that we purchase the parts in advance. Some of these parts can be quite costly. So the vendor managed inventory before you today allows us to purchase only the parts that we need with guarantee of their availability. This is a request for a contract not to exceed $880,000. May I answer any questions on this contract?
Do we have any questions? Okay, I will request a motion and a second to approve the recommendations as presented on the screen.
With the, Chair, the note should be that the total not to exceed will be $880,000. That's a leftover from a previous meeting. The dollar amount has changed to $880,000.
Okay, that's not what my script says, but, so it's changed from 880,000 to what?
No, it changed from $1.1 million to $880,000.
Oh, it actually went down.
Down, yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
there's a first. Yeah, we'll take it. Okay, do I have a motion to,
I include all of that revenue or
thank you, Councilmember Pastor. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Manufacture and delivery of Siemens light rail vehicle contract award. Jessica, I'll ask you to introduce this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. We were here in the month of June of this year to request authority to enter into a contract for the procurement of 3 Siemens S700 light rail trains. Those 3 trains, one was a replacement of a vehicle that was totaled in a collision in 2021, and 2 of those trains are to support our current level of service while maintaining reliability even during our midlife overhauls of our existing fleet. We then entered into a contract with Siemens in the month of July for the purchase of those 3 light rail vehicles. As you may recall, in the month of September, we experienced the loss of a train after a collision on Washington Street at 18th. The item before you is us working very quickly in partnership with our Chief Legal Officer, Michael Walrow, who has been working to recover insurance proceeds from the motorist at fault for this collision and our own self-insurance to request that we purchase a train from Siemens to replace that vehicle. We have been moving very quickly with the goal of minimizing the cost of this replacement train. By acting swiftly and availing ourselves of those insurance proceeds, we will be able to add this 4th car onto that 3-car production. If we were to wait and have a single car production, which is really not at all ideal, they don't have these trains sitting in the yard, if you will, the cost per unit would be very high. The cost before you today, $9.373 million, is a not to exceed amount. We continue to work with Siemens on that final price, which we do expect to be a little bit lower than this figure. Are there any questions I may answer on this item?
Seeing none, I request a motion and a second to approve the recommendations as presented on the screen. I need some motions.
so I need,
Motion.
I'm moving the item. Sorry, my phone dropped out.
No, that's okay. No problem.
Second.
Second, okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good job. All right, now we will go to report on current events and suggested future agenda items. Are there any reports or current events that are on the agenda for the future meetings?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay, with that, the next board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 at 11:15 a.m.
Thank you, Chairwoman Adams. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.